Hello, everybody. It is us. We are the
Oh,
Paper Dungeon. I'm going to check real quick to make sure that this is the right mic. We're good. Nailed it. So, everybody, we are the Paper
Easy.
Dungeon. This is Table Scraps, this show that we have on Thursdays. Talk normally about the show that we have on Mondays,
isn't it
along
so
with
exciting?
other stuff. We talk about all sorts of things. Um, I'm just gonna go into. I've been saving. Normally, I like do the plugs at the beginning and at the end, but that's so exhausting. So I'm just not going to. I've decided
Okay.
I'm gonna do it just
I
like
mean,
at the
Maybe
end or something.
maybe what we need to like record just a small just an ad bit
Uh,
and we just play that before at the beginning of each stream.
it's gross. Anyway, we have. I don't know if we have a lot to talk about, but like we have plenty of things to talk about. Um, So first up, obviously, didn't have a main campaign episode last week. We ran a one shot.
No.
Theoretically, main campaign will be live Monday, depending on the weather.
Yes, I am driving home Sunday and Monday, but it's supposed to snow in Ogden Sunday and Monday, so I might only make it halfway there. So we'll see if I'm actually home
Just
in time to stream.
have to wait and see. If not, I'll figure out something. We'll do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it would
Then,
be.
Aaron, this is what we'll do. We're still going to do an episode of the main campaign. We'll just do it without DJ.
Yeah, it's the non-canon first episode of the main campaign where I'm just like, all right, so you're fighting Dracula, and you're like, what? Where did Dracula come from? I'm like, I don't know.
Hey man,
We're just
go for it.
it's like in an anime where you're in the middle of like a really important like story arc,
Yep,
and then like in the middle of it they just have like a random side episode for some reason. They're
absolutely.
like, it's like, hey, so I know we're talking about this really important story right now, but hey, like 3 months ago our party was at the beach, so go check
Exactly.
that out.
Yeah,
I said
I
you
could.
guys, yeah, no, that's what you need to do. You need to have a flashback episode where
Yeah, I
you're
can
in the
run
middle of a
a.
fight and then someone knocks you across the face and that sends you into a flashback, and that's the episode.
You just get
I'm
isekai'd into the
down if that's what
past.
we want to do. I can do that.
Do it. I'm down.
I'm down. If DJ isn't there, I'll write a quick thing that is main campaign canon of the characters in the main campaign, excluding Abinthy Tripowitz. And then we'll just do something along those lines. It'll be great.
Great. Sounds like a plan.
Be the best episode of the main campaign. um,
It's episode 15.5.
yep. Oh my god, could you imagine if we flash back that early in the campaign?
Well,
Like
I was thinking because our most recent episode was episode 15
no.
of
Could you
chapter
imagine I
2.
flash back to
But
chapter 1, episode 15?
oh my goodness,
With
dude.
the NPCs Havel, Melora, and Tarak. Oh my god, that would be wild.
That would be
Um,
wild, actually.
but yeah, we and by we I mean I ran a one shot for the whole cast,
You
which
guys
all
do.
I did not expect. I expected to have like two people. There was a chance that it was just me and Grant that day, which in some ways I feel like was a missed opportunity. uh,
No, that we dodged a bullet there. That's what we did.
no. We that would have been the thing that blows up is just me and Grant palling around, and it's horrible. People would have rioted, but any press is good press, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun running it. It was in a world that I've been working in the back of my brain for a while that I think I'm going to continue with at some point in time in some sort of way. But it was really interesting because the characters made were all made for a player
Other people.
by another player, yeah. And so I knew that it was not going to be a super serious game. Saw that one coming.
Yep.
And it was a blast. You guys played a DJ. I will say, I think that this was my favorite episode of you playing a character.
Oh,
I think
thank
that
you.
this was the best that you have done.
I appreciate that. I was just trying to be funny.
Like Grant adored it. I can tell you Grant's perception on that. He agrees with me. This was like his favorite portrayal of you portraying a character. I appreciate it. Grant had an accent. And let me tell you,
Yes, he did.
because it was about, he was explaining to me later, where he's like, I could have chosen to do a good French accent, or I could choose
Or
to do a bad French accent that is actually 3 different accents and get to say things every once in a while like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
Naturally.
Oh yeah, and I will say I think that in terms of accents, it was our top. I think it's easily in our top 5 because it was consistently inconsistent.
now, see, here's
Exactly.
my question: was it consistently inconsistent, or Aaron, was it proof of last week's conversation of just creating a new accent by putting together multiple accents?
I don't wanna say that I started this. I did.
But you did.
Yeah,
Totally
it
100%
was.
did.
You can put the praise towards me because I clearly inspired Grant.
Aaron, I give you all the praise.
But yeah, Grant did an incredible job. Lydia played Spork, a reference to a one
Amazing.
shot that was, in my opinion, not our best show. But the amount of memes that we have had come off of the Halloween one shot from like 2020
Yeah.
is numerous,
Yes.
which is hilarious.
Literally a 6-hour one shot that was initially supposedly only like going to be 3 hours. But you know,
I
hey,
mean,
do
yeah,
that one
like
shot?
I don't know. It was the one where the meme "I think the blood moon's about to rise" came from.
yeah, that was the one that
Um,
Ryan DM'd.
the advent of Lavar,
Yes, Lava.
um,
And we
And
had
fork and
and I
spoon.
Fork and
played
Spoon,
I played a Yolk, the
and no one knew how to
centaur
say his name.
fighter.
We
Yeah.
still don't.
Maybe I was
Yeah, I don't
there.
even know. Like, I
I
literally,
don't
I,
think that
I
you were
don't
there for
remember what
that
his.
one.
Yeah, I don't think I was either.
I don't think so.
I think I just heard the
Was
memes from it.
But yeah, like it has spawned so many memes, and I like it's probably in our bottom tier of content, in my opinion. Like it's one of my least favorite things that we've done.
I mean,
Not to like trash anyone. I think
it's
all
not.
around it just wasn't very good. Like we've just
It
done much
was.
better.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't our best
We've had some pretty high
outing as
quality
the paper
things,
dungeon.
Yeah,
and we've
we've
also had some
done.
low quality things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a mixed bag. Like we were really early on at that point in time.
That's
Like
true.
that was pretty
I was
dang
before
early.
things
Especially
We
got
barely
shared.
and
knew what was going on. I will say, and Grant will back me up on this, it had an absolute banger soundtrack.
yeah, in that.
I think Grant has gone on record saying that that is his favorite piece of music that he's made for the Paper Dungeon, and it was used for a one shot that was not very good.
Well, we should bring it back
Let me tell you, he'd be down to do it.
and do it.
But yeah, like I think that the one shot was good. I had a lot of fun in the world. I'm excited to pursue it more, which I
Yeah.
may talk about slightly later in this episode, depending on where we go in terms of conversation. But now I suppose, is it all right if we turn to more serious topics, or do you wanna hang out on the talking about Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, previous games now?
I think it was a great one shot that we played. I think if you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. It's definitely an enjoyable one. But yeah, otherwise
Yeah,
I don't
it's
have any
a lot of
more
fun.
than that.
A lot of fun. Speaking of one shots, be ready for tomorrow, supposedly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
One shot
Patreon.
delivered by myself, being released onto Patreon. So
It
check
was a
that
lot of
out
fun.
when
I
you get the
sing in
chance.
it. I
Yes,
was
sing
that
a lot
was
of
like
fun.
multiple times.
Aaron, unsurprisingly, was my favorite part about that one shot.
Well, I mean, I have
Nice.
the voice of a fallen angel, so, and I'm so incredibly humble.
Fair.
Anyway, for those of you who caught my super funny wordplay joke of the name of this stream, oh good lord. Let me tell you,
OGL.
OGL. So the OGL is a thing that obviously is talked about quite a lot right now. So if you know anything or are part of any Dungeons and Dragons circle, you've probably been notified, at least you've probably heard of it. So the question is, how does the changing of the OGL affect the things that you care about? Which one of those is hopefully us?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean, if you don't care about us, we kind of understand. We're just,
Yeah,
we're,
right. Like we're
but
pretty
like,
small time.
yeah, but
I'll
like,
respect it. Like
we
you're
just
sticking to
we
your
just hope that
guns.
you'd miss us just a little bit if
Yeah.
the paper dungeons
Some
disappeared.
part of you is like, oh man, what am I gonna do at 1:30 or 2:30 on a Thursday gosh dang afternoon? So the answer to the question of how does changing the OGL affect us is uh, less than you may expect, but more than any of us want.
Yes.
In terms of our main campaign and us like playing Dungeons and Dragons, since we are a like live play game, that will not be overly affected as long as our content is within easy reachable free availability. It shouldn't really be affected by the OGL changes, which means that our Twitch channel should be fine because you can watch us for free. Our Patreon may have some changes coming towards it, depending on how they keep the OGL or anything like that, because that is locked behind a paywall, aka being a patron. Now there are a lot of ways that we can change and do stuff and decide how and what we're going to do. For the most part, I can say that I know I personally will be looking into a lot of other RPGs that are playable, if not as like a main thing that we do or a regular thing that we do, at least a more common thing that we do and put on Patreon for sure. There is a high likelihood that if nothing develops drastically, future long form campaigns will probably not be using Dungeons and Dragons as a system that we run on. The main reason for this, because we're obviously not a big enough company to be making $750,000 or anything near that, is a lot of intellectual property. It would I don't know about the rest of you. I've talked with both of them, both you, Drew, and DJ, about kind of their thoughts on it and things. But like, obviously, I don't know the inner workings of your soul, the turnings of the world. I know for me, I would hate to see the things that like I put my heart and soul into just being taken and used for free, even as low of a likelihood that is, since we're so small and stuff like that. Like if we were to absolutely blow up and get flooded with thousands of people watching us, I would not want to see a book that had revised orcs in it that were clearly our work. Because that's Tarak. That's like a character and a culture that I put a lot of work into. And that's my biggest problem with what they're doing is the we don't want to pay people to make content for us, so we're just gonna take it for free, which really sucks. It's pretty crummy.
Yeah.
So as for how much we're affected, not a ton. Like we will continue with campaign 1, you playing Dungeons and Dragons. We will finish it off. We will complete campaign 1. Woo. As for the future going forward, it's a lot is up in the air. We're not going to quit. Like that's not a thing that's going to happen. We'll still be here.
Yeah. Basically, what's going on right now is nothing's going to be changing too much at the exact moment that you guys are watching this. In the future, things will change, but we don't know how much until the official OGL is released and what exactly happens. Because there's been a lot of talk about rescinding some of the thoughts behind the OGL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So until we actually know what exactly we can and can't do and what exactly they're trying to change with the OGL, there's not a whole lot that we can say or do. We think that this new OGL is pretty crummy. We're not particular fans of it. And we're not particularly loyal to D&D itself. It's a really fun gaming system. We really enjoy playing it, but we enjoy telling stories more so than playing D&D specifically.
Yeah.
So we're perfectly fine and perfectly willing to use whatever system that we decide that we want to use to tell our stories. And if that happens to still be D&D after this, great. If not, if it's something else, then that's just going to be how it is. And we're not really too concerned about that either. Plus, it'll be fun to get to explore other RPGs and how they work and stuff like that. So basically, for now, you don't have to worry about too much about us.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
kind of the thought process.
Um, I will say if you have any questions, I'm certainly not an expert on it, but I'm trying to keep relatively up to date with people that are very knowledgeable about the subject, um, and kind of the random exploding things that are going on all at one time. So you can ask questions if you'd like, and I can do my best to answer them. Obviously, you should do your own research in such a way, because I'm like, if something happens and you're like, but that's not what Aaron says, dog, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just regurgitating things that I've seen and heard that I trust to be true. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much that whole segment. That's all
Yeah,
I got to talk about.
there's not much more to add to it.
OGL stuff, yeah.
It's just kind of a sucky situation.
Yeah, pretty rough. I know a lot of people that are much more affected by it than we are, which is terrible. Like I'm good friends with a lot of them, and it's real rough. Like if you've been making a living off of creating Dungeons and Dragons projects, like that you basically got fired by a different company.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. Although I I am very curious as to what other systems come out because of this, assuming things with the
Oh my
OGL
goodness.
with the leaks don't come out. Because even just the other day, I like Kobold Press has expressed how they want to create their own system.
Yep.
Matt
Project Black
Colville and his
Flag.
company are planning on creating their own tabletop system. And then like there's plenty
Oh
of
yeah.
other ones that are out there. So
So
it's actually in a way it's kind of exciting just to see other
oh,
people's
I'm
takes on
ecstatic.
gaming
So
on,
it's
on the on
I,
the genre.
I can't wait for Disney to release their system
yeah.
and just over the world.
So first off, Handskate. I've actually played Overlight before.
It's
Ryan,
fun,
yeah, Ryan like introduced us to Overlight. It's
and you
an
can't
absolute
buy it
blast.
anymore. They
Oh,
didn't make enough
that's
money. It's not for
rough.
sale anymore.
That is
Yeah,
so tough.
yeah.
Oof, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in lighter news, I guess, I'm I'm actually in some ways I am so pumped about the whole like WotC basically like throwing itself in the trash, because I love RPGs just in general. There are going to be so many cool things. It's like I've been training for this moment. All of those years of looking at other RPGs and being like, oh man, I'd love to play that if only there were people who were willing to not play Dungeons and Dragons. There's like a whole bounty of people out there now. Oh my god, and new RPGs popping up and everything. I am so excited for it's kind of weird. So it's like Wizard of the Coast built up this like mountain in the middle of the ocean of TTRPG, and then broke that mountain themselves. So all the people who are living on the mountain are now on just completely different islands. They're just looking for somewhere to rest. And oh my goodness. I'm just excited to see where's the next landmass that they gather at. Is it going to be like I've seen people talking about Vyson, which I thought that I was the only one who played that game. I've seen people talking about Symbaroum, which I thought that I didn't think I don't even play that game. I didn't think anyone played it. There's obviously the new companies that are coming out with games. Oh my goodness, I'm ecstatic.
It's gonna be so fun.
So
It's like an
really
explosive growth
what people
of
can look forward
content.
to what people can look forward to really is after we finish campaign 1, assuming that nothing has changed for the better, uh we'll just have like 2 months of content of us just trying out different RPGs and figuring out which one we like the most for campaign 2.
Absolutely. And so this is I mentioned a little bit earlier. I was like, if conversation happens to head this way, I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to. So I know me personally, more than just the OGL, my like trust in the company that is Wizard of the Coast is pretty lackluster at the moment. So I'm probably just going to be leaning towards other RPGs in general, whether or not. Oh,
We DJ dipped out. He decided he hates us now. All right, guys, we have to move on.
don't worry, I'm wicked fast.
Yeah, please excuse
Nailed it.
this momentary technical difficulty
Don't worry,
as
I
we
switched
await
to two people.
for my brother to return eventually. Also, I love it how just by default the two person overlay is just me and you.
But yeah, that's because that's who's normally my
As
second.
yeah,
Um, so in order to get myself ready to potentially stream other games besides Dungeons and Dragons, because I want to keep doing RPGs. I've mentioned multiple times in the past. I'm planning on streaming solo in the near future, and I would love to like streams whether or not it be like 4 to 6 month mini campaigns or a longer form campaign alongside the other things that I want to do, like playing video games and whatnot, to kind of get ready to play other RPGs. I don't have a whole lot of experience. As I mentioned, it's really hard to find people to play games that aren't Dungeons and Dragons.
hmm
Now that that's an option, I plan on doing a little off-camera gathering of people. I'm gonna assemble like a Ocean's level 11 type situation where it's like an elite team of specialized TTRPG players, to kind of play just like whether it be one shots or little example campaigns to just help me learn different systems of different RPGs and find which ones are super easy to pick up but are super shallow, or really difficult to pick up but have like endless combinations and stuff like that, or just the what it would be so cool if like I picked up an RPG and was like, all right, gang, that we're gonna learn this RPG for the next like month,
hmm
and then it was like perfect.
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine? Like it was like everything just made sense, everything just felt really good. I have a lot of hopes for Dragon's Bane. Once I get a hold of that, because it's been like one of the number one RPGs in Sweden for like 40 years or something like that.
Wow.
I think it's like 38 years that it's been like in the top five RPGs of Sweden. Because Sweden has their own whole RPG like microcosm that like no
Really
one talks.
interesting.
Yeah, like everywhere else in the world, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, and there's Sweden, and they're like, no, we've been doing this. Like we've been out here. Um, Hold on, I'm reading. Oh
Uh,
no, DJ's Wi-Fi crashed. Um, I'm really excited. So for those of you who are on our Discord, I won't give out hope because, like but I'm gonna be messaging some people in the next month to month and a half to see if I can get some people together to play some other RPGs to help me work through some muck and grime, because I know like the rest of my cast, there's our schedules are pretty packed still.
yeah.
And so obviously you guys are welcome to join us, but I don't want to like pressure you into like, oh god, I have to help Aaron play games. So I want to assemble other people outside of a playgroup, which honestly is a good idea regardless of what you're doing. Is to have a large group of people so that way you aren't super dependent on just like one like group.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
You
so
know,
you
you
have
get a
options.
more diverse, you
Mm-hmm.
know, set of opinions and thoughts, and
And yeah, so I'm super excited to try out that. In other news, there's also a good chance that we may be trying our hand at making our own RPG system. I've put my head to the gosh dang millstone. I've been thinking hard.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. If it comes together, it's looking pretty tasty. Like if I can come up with the quantity of content, because right now I've got the basics. I've got like figured out the like broad general concept of how it functions, what it would look like, and what is all contained in that. I just need to work on the specifics, and then the specifics also include a very large quantity of things that I need to create.
Right. Yeah.
But general basis overview, it's looking pretty hot. Looking pretty toasty.
Yeah.
It's looking sizzly. Oh yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
Salt Bay if I wasn't a scumbag. Yeah, so keep an eye out for just a whole bunch of stuff from TPD and myself, and I'm very excited. Like, I'm very sad, but also very
Also
excited.
extremely excited.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I'm absolutely jazzed. Um, what do we want to talk about now? Like, we've talked about the like one shot. We talked about the OGL, the sad stuff.
Yeah.
And then
And then some of the kind of exciting stuff.
Yeah, and we talked about the bright side.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about now? Or should we just end it? Just leave 30 minutes, call
Yeah.
it good.
30 minutes, call it good.
Meh.
You know, hey, nothing else to talk about, guys. We're completely done.
DJ will not be returning. It appears as though the internet is not functioning quite as how he would like it to. Plus, I think he's got some stuff on his mind today. He's got some stuff to work on.
Yeah,
I had to
DJ
guess.
has been hard at work doing business stuff as of late.
Which I'm so thankful for. Yeah, we can talk about that. So, obviously, I can't go too in depth, but for some reason, I never knew why. I questioned it from the start. I was put in charge of business stuff, which makes sense because I have a business degree. But I was like, I don't do numbers. They're like, man, you'll do fine. I did not do fine. This is 100% on me. Don't give Aaron the I'm a management and marketing. Money starts with an M, but it's not the same thing.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's like a Greek philosophy where it's like a house has windows and a car has windows, but the car can move and the house can't. Therefore, it's not the windows that's causing it. Yeah, no, duh. Like, okay. So DJ was like, "Hey, would you be okay with me like doing more money stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, thank God, yes." Because DJ just loves looking at the numbers, big numbers guy, and he has resources that are good at numbers.
Yes,
and I don't.
Yeah, he likes he likes his graphs and his spreadsheets and stuff. You know, he's good at that kind of stuff. So.
Not me.
Yeah.
Nope. So I'm very honestly super pumped. So this is the weird thing. I like math. I think math is neat. Math makes sense. Accounting is more akin to learning a language. And I have almost failed every language class I have ever taken. Like, accounting is you take the things that you learn in good math.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was in calculus.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was doing number work. I walked into accounting 1. I almost died upon entrance. It's like they find the most roundabout way to do the most simple thing in a way that is purposefully designed to make your life a living hell. Where they're like, okay, what are you actually doing here? And it's like, well, you're adding 36,000 and 45,000 to get a number. And they're like, okay, we're not going to tell them that. And you're like, but why? That's what all that they're doing. They're like, no. They have to understand the word first. And then after 17 steps of trying to find that one specific number in a table of numbers where the categorization is just a bunch of baloney, they can add 45 and 36. And I had to do 4 years of that. I'm good.
Did you have to use a 10 key at all?
A what?
Okay, that's a no. So
my
mom,
the little calculators.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not an accountant major. Thank God.
So my mom, who is an accountant, like she has a 10 key that and it's like the same 10 key that she's used for years. And like to this day, like she has explained how she would much rather use her 10 key than like a normal calculator at this point, because she's so used to it. And she's repeatedly tried to explain to me like the difference between a 10 key and a normal calculator, and still like every time I'm like, I don't follow. Like she's tried to like go through the process of show. I'm like, I don't understand. I really don't.
Does it have 10 keys?
I mean, I think called a 10 key because it just, I mean, it has more than 10 buttons, if that's
Well,
what
then
you're
that's a
asking.
dumb name.
Well, I mean, I think it's a 10 key because,
You know
it
what
has
it
10
No,
numbers. It
you
has
know what a
0
10
through
you know what a 10
0
key
through
is?
9.
A 10 key is a name that was given to a calculator by an accountant. That's what it was, because an accountant was like, what is the dumbest thing that we could call this that gives you, like, you hear it and you're like, that's got to be what it is. And then you see it and you're like, you could have just, why would you do that? That's
I mean, yeah.
accounting.
And there is, I mean, and there is a difference on how a 10 key functions,
Oh yeah, of course
like
there
to a
is.
calculator. But I just don't understand
You
it.
know what they could have called it? An accounting calculator.
No, no.
No. They have to call it a 10 key. So then you have to look at it and go, but that's more than 10 keys.
Well, yeah.
Accounting, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Hansgate, yes, graphs are easily deciphered, except when they're not actually a graph. When it's just a wall of text, you can't call it a graph. You can't. I don't care. That's just words. That's a novel you've given me.
That's just an English paper.
That's just words and numbers. That's not a graph. Like you pull up a graph, like a bar graph, a line graph, a scatter point graph. I'm in. Put me in, coach. You want me to gosh dang triangulate positions, determine the slope of a line from a number. I love that. You give me like an Excel spreadsheet that just has rows of numbers that you have to navigate haphazardly. Don't do it. I'm out. I'm gone. That's not a graph. That is a spreadsheet. Hate that. It's just I will admit, there is a certain beauty to someone who really understands Excel. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so have you seen that there are like speed running competitions of Excel?
I've not seen anything about that. I think you've mentioned it
I'm
before.
pretty sure I've talked about it. It's hilarious. Like, it's one of those things where like, it's like racing, like car racing, where like if you aren't part of the niche, you're like, that's just people driving fast around a circle.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, if you really delve into how difficult it is to, like, maneuver a car moving that fast, like 2 inches and nothing more, it's like really, like, someone will like pass another car, and people who understand are like, oh my god, that was incredible. And then people who are looking at, like, I pass people every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the same thing with Excel. Like, you see someone, and then the commentator's like, oh my god, he's using the shift key. And you're like, it's a shift key. It's use your pinky. But like, to the Excel people, are flipping out. They're like, oh my god, I never would have thought of doing that. Holy cow, this could changes the game.
It's so there's a there's a game known as chess. That was a really weird way to say it. But
never heard of
but
chess.
I really
Also,
enjoyed chess. Like I'm a
chess novice.
I'm a more of an amateur,
master.
but I enjoy chess. Let's put it that way. And there's a chess commentator called Gotham Chess on YouTube. He's like he's the biggest, or like one of the 2 biggest like chess YouTubers in the world. Really, really funny guy, creates great content. And one of the things that he says very often in his videos is like when he's like reviewing like chess games of like really high end players.
Yeah.
He'll say, "Oh, like when you do this move, when you and I do this move, we're idiots. When they do it, they're geniuses
Yeah.
because like they're thinking so far ahead
Mm-hmm.
that they have like it's like, oh, you think 2 moves ahead, they think 30. You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
it's that's what it is.
I feel like you'd think like with my personality and like how I live and play like RPGs and stuff that I would be good at chess. And I think that
Yeah,
if I
you do
emptied
seem like
my
a
mind of all of the 10 other tabs I have open and
yeah,
literally
it just
just
closed all the
opened
other
one
tabs.
tab to devote all of my like RAM towards
All
understanding
your RAM,
chess,
all your
I would
CPU.
be pretty good. Not great. I don't think I could handle being great at chess. There is way too
I don't
much
know. I think
drama
you
in
could.
there's way too much drama in the chess community. All right.
Well, right now there is.
I love because I get random chess things that pop up on my like YouTube page and I'll like scroll through shorts and just chess will appear.
Yeah,
Um and my favorite one was like Magnus Carlsen, is he a jerk or is he a genius? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'll bite.
Sure, I'll click on
And
this.
then it's like, look at him. He walks in late because he was skydiving.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
Something
yeah, in
like
a
that.
recent tournament,
Yeah.
I think he was skiing,
Oh,
and
skiing. That's what it was. Caught in
he was supposed to
traffic.
get back, but he got stuck in traffic. So he like had to run like I don't even know several
Mm-hmm.
blocks to get to the tournament, and he makes it to the game
And it's like 30
in
seconds left
time,
on the
like
clock.
with like 30 seconds left on his clock, and he still wins.
Yeah. He like before he sat down, he's moved a piece. Like he looked at the board, moved a piece, pressed the button, and then sat down. Like it was,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I have no idea what just happened, but I'm pretty sure it was impressive. So yeah, that's I have no desire to be good at chess. There was once a time when I was like, yeah, that's right. Chess is like the cool thing to do. And then I I lost a game and then won the next 7, but it was a single elimination tournament. And I was like, I'm just not gonna do that. Like I lost a game and I was like, oh man, that sucks. When we'll play another? This was like in middle school. He was like, yeah. Then I flossed him for the next like 7 games, and I'm like, I don't want to play this game. I'm good.
This sucks.
No,
I don't care about this
I'm just
anymore.
not gonna do that. And then I never touched chess again. I'm a big fan of checkers though. It's it's like an element like just a basic game. I can jive with checkers.
Sure. Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on. I'm in.
Yeah. It's a very.
You see, I've noticed.
It's the simple form of chess.
Well, yeah, like this has happened with several games that I've played in my life. Is that if they're too in depth, and I want to get good at them, I slowly stop having fun with them because no one else that I play with wants to be good at the game. So
yeah.
like I played Smite wildly for like 2 years. Like I was on the like I had scheduled into my day like play for
when
this
you'd be
amount
playing
of time.
games.
How like what am I playing? I was conquest only, and then slowly it like made me upset to play with my friends because I'm just sitting there where they're like watching them like dive tower at like level 4 when they have no guardian nearby to like, and I'm like, why are you not pushing the enemy there? They're weak. And they're like, oh, but I might die. And I'm like, you're at half health, they're at 25%, just hit your abilities. It won't be. I don't think I was fun to play with, and I was not having fun. Like I had more fun playing alone, and so I was just like, I'm not going to play this game anymore because I don't want to be not having fun with the people that I like to have fun with.
Yeah.
And now I've gone back to it, and I'm not good at the game anymore, and it is a blast.
Well, yeah, I'm very similar with most like online multiplayer like PvP games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really only play those kind of games when I'm playing with a friend or a group of friends
Yeah.
because like I don't like so like obviously you play Smite, I play League.
Oh, poor
I
soul.
I pretty much never play League by myself. Um,
That's safety. It's like walking through a dark alleyway at night.
I
That's
just
League in a
because like
nutshell.
I, well, yeah, just because like I don't like. First of all, the community in League is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Stab you with a brick and bottle.
most gaming communities.
Yep.
Um, and I just don't want to deal with that. Like when I'm playing by myself, I'm just like I don't really care. I don't want to deal with people. And I have other things I can do to occupy my time that'll be much more enjoyable. Um, like really the only reason I still play League at all these days because I still have a couple friends that play League and like
Mm-hmm.
every now and again they're like, "Hey Drew, do you want to join us?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
I'm telling you, Drew, I think that we need to have episodes that we like record on Patreon that is like Drew teaches the gang how to play League. And here's the thing. So Game Grumps did a similar series with like Ross and World of Warcraft.
Hmm.
And they were like, Ross teaches World of Warcraft. But the thing was, you can just quit at any point in time.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of them didn't last the day. Another one didn't last more than 3. People just drop like flies.
Hmm.
Um, we could just do that style of series. We get through one game and like 4 people. I'm not doing this.
I'm done. I don't want to do
And then
this.
there's me, and I'm like, no, hold on. It might not be that bad. We get through the like 5 games, and I'm like, I'm not seeing a way out, Drew. The tunnel's dark. It's dark. There's no. It's bad. I'd be
Yeah.
so in.
Well, see, here's the thing. But I could only do like for people to actually get the League experience. I could at most really we could do like duos or trios, I'd say,
Mm.
because like there's enough of us like with the whole cast, right? We could have a full
We've got a
party of
5
five.
staff, dog.
But the thing is that then you wouldn't be getting the true League experience because part of the League experience is your own teammates being toxic at you for no reason.
Well, no, you can just do that. Yeah,
I'm
you have
gonna
to
do
play
that.
the-
I'm gonna be the toxic person.
like whoever's. I assume that you would probably be jungling. So like our mid laner goes off and like steals a camp, and you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? Get back in your lane. You're missing out. Like you're just flipping out. You're feeding. You're feeding.
And you know the funny part is when it comes to League, typically speaking, jungle is the least toxic because people are the most toxic towards jungle.
Well, yeah. So you get to have fun.
So I get to be the jerk to
Yeah,
all my friends.
Absolutely. Look, this is like my dream. See, my goal. I would love if all of us had like that specific thing. So like a hey, someone like insert cast member teaches TPD how to blank.
How to blank, yeah.
Yeah. So like for Lydia, it's like Lydia teaches the TPD cast how to draw.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, no. You sit there and it is bad. But sometimes it's good. And eventually if you get good enough at doing good, most of them are good. Or at least they're not bad.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
For me, I would love if it was because I really want to get into RuneScape. Could you imagine if I like get really good at RuneScape and I'm like, it's Aaron teaches the cast how to play RuneScape, and you guys show up and you're like, oh my god, Aaron, like what's going on? Like you have all these fancy things, like what's going on? And I'm like, no. You just go click on those jungle gems. They're like, what? I'm like, no, just the jungle gems. You click on it. And they're like, for how long? And you're like, 48 hours. They're like, but then like we're good. Like I'm like, no, then you can rest for 20 minutes. And then you wake up and they're like, well, what's after that? And you're like, no, you click on the jungle gems. and then you get your agility up to 99.
Oh, uh-huh.
And they're like, what do you get? And you're like, nothing. Then you get to go and click on a tree. Why? Does it increase something else? Yes. What? Wood cutting. Why do I need that? You don't.
It's just Aaron torches the TPD cast by playing RuneScape.
I would love it so much. And then it's like, we're going to go on a raid. Oh my god, what do? You click on it. Well, do you do anything else? Yes, you do. And they're like, oh my god, you click on more than one thing? Yes, you click on two things. And one of them isn't even on the screen. You just toggle your prayer ability, and you set it up like this, and you just click, 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 and you time it so that way it extends the duration. They're like, why? Because that's just what you do. It's RuneScape.
Oh boy, good old RuneScape. So there's been a couple times that myself and a couple friends tried to play through old school RuneScape.
Yeah, and of course that's what we would be playing.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't last very. Dude, the game is so. It's not my game.
It's like a
it's
dream,
just,
dude.
Yeah, it's like not my.
So
Yeah, no.
the beauty of RuneScape is there's the dumbest learning curve possible, right? So like if you look up like YouTube RuneScape, it is some of the most entertaining MMORPG content in the world. And then you go to play RuneScape and you realize that you don't know
Anything.
one like iota of the information about RuneScape that any RuneScape player knows. Like that I would love to get to the point where I could understand how they do like region locked RuneScape. So they'll have a specific area of the map, and then they can't leave that area. And so they're like, they start off at level 1. There's like a certain number of quests that they have to do, but they like get rid of all of the starter items that they achieve, everything that like any special stuff that is not specifically required for that area, they get rid of. And then they go to that area and they start from scratch. And it is it's like incredible. Like there's a full length video that I watched, and it's like 10 hours long.
Oh,
and it's just called Swampletics because they're just in the swamp area the whole time. That's what they named their character, Swampletics. And they're like, so one of the big problems with starting in this area is it's really difficult to get this specific type of wood because you're in a swamp and that type of wood doesn't grow there. And so I scoured the loot tables of various monsters contained in this, and it turns out that this specific skeleton drops one birchwood plank at a rare chance happening every 0.8 times. I have killed this skeleton over 800 times. It took me over 40 hours. And now I can build this cabinet. it's so cool. Like that's like my dream. Like I could do
We have two very different thoughts on that.
That's like, but you just stand on one square and then the skeleton can't hit you, but you can hit it. And another thing that happened, they were like, so in this area, there's no way to really train your agility until you get to like level whatever. Except for this. And it's maybe the worst agility trainer in the game, where you just jump over a bridge. And right now, the likeliness of me succeeding at jumping over this bridge is like 0.4. But even on a fail, you gain 1 towards your agility. And on a success, you gain 4.
Ooh.
I have jumped this, but when you fail, you take damage.
Oh, of course.
So you can't do it forever, unlike most agility trainers. So I have spent 800 hours like just falling into a river. That's the whole thing. It's like my dream. Like when I play Minecraft, it's just me strip mining in a direction until I can't strip mine anymore for no purpose or reason. Like at one point in time, I was playing Minecraft with some friends, and they were like, "Hey, Aaron, we're going to go get some food. It'll be a couple hours." And I was like, "Okay." They show up like 6 hours later, and they're like, "Aaron, what have you done?" I'm like, "Nothing really." And I had mined out like the entire area under where we were living, like a whole mountain. They're like, "Why did you do that?" And I was like, I was mining.
Because I could.
And with the stone that I mined, I could make more pickaxes to mine more stone. And save my iron pickaxes for the stuff that I couldn't mine with stone pickaxes. And now I have a lot of stone and other things. They're like, what are you using? I was like, I don't know. They're like, why would you do that?
Aaron, you have the same grind mindset that Technoblade had. And it's admirable.
I wish that I was that cool. I feel like that is like Technoblade was very close to like my thought mentality and like humor style. But he's way better at graphs. Like the number part of it, I'm out. Like there was purpose behind his actions. I don't have that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not willing to figure out the time zone of my potato farming enemy.
Yeah,
to schedule my movements in between his hours of sleep. I'm good, dog. I'm just farming potatoes because I wanted to farm potatoes. I'm more innocent in some ways than Technoblade.
Which is a lot coming from you.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, Aaron likes. You see, this is why Aaron likes to build houses in Dungeons and Dragons, because it's very difficult to do, because no one wants you to do it. So I actually had this concept.
This is why we need our Minecraft roleplay server.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And every once in a while you'd be mining and just hit the most complex strip mine you've ever seen. You're like, how far does it go? And then I creep up behind you and I'm like, until the end of the game, Drew. I've been here. Forever. There is no end to the strip mine, Drew. I'm like a little mine rat.
Strip mined all the way to the far realms, which don't exist anymore.
Unless you just need to go farther.
Even farther beyond.
So a little behind the scenes of where Aaron's brain has been in terms of the RPG that I've been creating in my mind. Mm-hmm. So I had this idea.
Which, by the way, I know I mentioned this before, and we kind of said it probably wouldn't work out. I would be so down, even if it's an early alpha. By the time campaign 2 starts, I'd be so down to play.
You never know. It's possible if my brain keeps running on high octane creating this thing, and then I'm able to put it on page and paper and work with it and do some playtesting and stuff. It's unlikely, but there's a definite chance.
It's a non-zero possibility.
The starting point of the RPG that I had in my brain was I want to cut down on the classifications of classes, right? Because in D&D it's really confusing, and each class is its own thing, and it's kind of annoying. You have like full casters, half casters, marshals, but like also none of that is accurate. Because like, what do you call an Eldritch Knight? Is it a quarter caster? Is it a half caster? Like, what rogues can cast magic most of the time? Heck, elves just get it for free. So like, it's really difficult. So I wanted to split up into just 2 main things: martial or like people who can cast and people who can't. So martial and spellcaster. But then this morning, I had an epiphany. A third classification: crafter. And this is not a joke. This is not because I was sitting there.
Of course, you would come up with this. I was sitting there.
I was thinking, and I was like, basically, there was a whole line of thought where like, how does tools and items and stuff, and like one of the big things in D&D that I really hate, it's really hard to make like items. There's like no rules in place for it. So how do you do it? Who can do it? Like probably spellcasters can make magic items, but there's not really any way for them to do that except for artificers, but that's built into their toolkit. So can wizards do it, or is it only artificers? And what about stuff that isn't magic? Like if I want to build a chair, I need carpenter's tools. But I don't own carpenter's tools, and if you gave me enough time, I could make something akin to a chair. Like, really difficult. But then I was like, oh my god, what if there were just, like, that was just a classification of people? Like, you are a crafter, so you there's a whole bunch of other like how this all fits in, but like just being a like having someone on your team who can make you magic items and there's like a clearly defined rule set means that they are given like an automatic place in the party because it's just nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's so cool to me. And like having someone who's like and then the whole crafting is part of their toolkit where you have like sculptors who now no longer need tools to sculpt stone. So just with their bare hands, they can like move like the earth around and stuff like that. And like, that's so cool to me.
Yeah, dude.
And then that
Should
means
get
that
some
I can clarify what a spellcaster and what a martial character can do because they can still use tools, but they aren't going to be crafters. So like spellcasters have to go through a lot more steps to like make magic stuff. And like if you want to build a trebuchet, sure, a martial character probably knows like about war machines.
Right.
But there's Tim over there, and he's a full-on carpenter with a gosh dang college degree in siege weaponry. Like, and he just straight like a Lego video game. You just give him the materials, they start jumping around. He's like, fa, 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 and it just builds itself.
Yep.
It's rad. This is not a joke. This is legitimate. It's way cooler in my brain, but there's so much that like goes into it that is really hard to explain.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
But you get the gist
I
of
follow.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually really excited. I think that it could turn out really well, which I'm kind of surprised at. Because in my brain there really wasn't anything going on there about a new RPG, other than the ones that I had bought. And so,
but now
it's got some potential. It's got some sizzle.
Yeah.
It's got some class. Tasty.
Tasty.
I also think that it's going to be super modular, so it's super easy to add and like manipulate things. So that way it becomes like customized to like your group's playstyle.
Oh sure, yeah.
Super excited for it if it turns out, which I hope that it does. Yeah, so that's Aaron. Man, this has been a day.
It has been a day.
We have to
I agree.
record for the Patreon tonight.
Yes.
At 7.
Yes.
Which is a bummer.
I have to build my character for that still.
We'll build it just before stream. So.
Oh, perfect.
Because, little spoiler for you Patreon viewers out there, next month is when we'll release this. But it is going to be an episode of Sexy Battle Wizards.
Yes.
So get ready for that nonsense.
Yes. If some of you recall, a few weeks ago, Aaron and I were just hanging out, just the two of us.
Just
and
two of us.
And Aaron found this one-page RPG that just sounds amazing.
I mean, it looks really good too.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure when I'd be able to play it, and I was gifted an opportunity that I'm going to take advantage of.
Yes. It's just I will not turn this down.
Absolutely. So expect on Patreon next month an episode of Sexy Battle Wizards, and in the future probably more RPGs that aren't D&D that I run on Patreon. Because that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. I'll be honest, I still need to prep a lot of things for that game. And we've been going for a fair amount of time. Like, I didn't expect a very long stream. We didn't have a main campaign episode. We started late because that reminds me, next Thursday we will be back at 1:30 because my schedule is back to being off on Thursdays as far as I know. It's pretty up in the air over where I work. So we will be back at 1:30 next Thursday, and hopefully in the future. But since I need to work on things and have some other work that I need to do and some editing to do, I think I'm going to wrap up around an hour early today. If that's all right with you, Drew.
Oh yes, that is fine with me. I also have things I should work on.
Fantastic. Well, for the like one of you still watching, now
Thanks,
is the
Gamecade.
time for plugs. So we have social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com, with a merch store. We have our merch on it. Lydia also has a store. Lydia makes all of her overlays, character art. She's very good at it. And I think that it might be back up right now, although it was down earlier, and I'm not sure if she's taking commissions, but she might be, so you should check. Other than that, make sure that you check us out on YouTube and podcast. We appreciate you and your time. And among that, if you want to support us, there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can bring your friends. That's completely free. Send them over here. Be like, these guys suck.
Yeah.
Watch
Let's
them.
go make fun of them together.
Yeah, let's beat them up. You can also, if you want a more monetary donation, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can Streamlabs donation. That's a thing that we have. We have Ko-Fi.
That's the thing we have.
We
Yeah.
also have Patreon. Patreon is pretty rad. We'll be uploading new content at least monthly, if not more than once a month. Hopefully more than once a month once we get things under wraps and all figured out and scheduled. And if you are a subscriber, especially for you, but for everyone, we have a Discord, and you should be on it. And subscribers, you'll get released some Patreon content, so you just get a little extra taste for being a subscriber. But our community is really nice, and everyone like hangs out and says good morning and talks about stuff, and it's a really good place to plug the work that you do, because our people like to check that out and watch your streams and buy your content. So hopefully we'll see you on Discord.
A good group of nerds.
It's a good group of people, just some good people out there. And so that brings me to the very last thing that I have to say on this wonderful day. Good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers. It's been a blast. Goodbye, everybody. Don't be afraid. Things will get better at some point in time. Goodbye.